shake from my bed to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Will today be rough or will today be great? 9, 10, 11, 12. Lately I've been going through hell. 13, 14, 15, 16. Today's the day. Are you coming? Are you sick of being normal? I'm sick of being average. I'm sick of being mortal. I'm about to be a savage. I see a lot of things that I want, I will have them. I got a new mindset that I just established. I'll march through the cold with the nails on the pavement. I'll shovel that coal just to get out the basement. My story will be told, helping others make changes. I'll be so bold, they will watch in amazement.
Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
Foot up on the pedal, pushing hard to the metal. Make a deal with the devil. Channel rage through my vessel into something that is special. Energy of a rebel, going up a level. I just wanna be greatness. I could feel changes, turn a new page and tie up my laces. I will be the bravest, break out of my cages. I will not be nameless, I will not be aimless.
Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
All right, everybody, what is going on? What is going on? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 171, as we dive back into the sports sector of this podcast this week. Just want to make a quick announcement. I know I had Lewis's name in the promotion here, but Lewis actually is not going to be on tonight. It's going to be me. I want to welcome back in special guest, returning guest, OG to the podcast, Rob Laventure. Rob, what's up, my brother?
What's up? What's up? What's going on, Steve? Glad to be back. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man? Glad to have you back on, man. Thank you for taking the time to come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course.
Yeah, man. These episodes are always great, man. Always these sports episodes, man. There's a lot of stuff going on at Philly right now. We're going to have returning guest Rich Mitchell back on the podcast. He'll be coming on shortly. And then we'll just kind of hop into it. So what we're talking about tonight, guys, if you saw the promo, or if not, we're talking about the NFL draft analysis for the Philadelphia Eagles 2024 draft. And it was a big draft. I mean, they had a lot of moves. They didn't really stay still. And even when they didn't make picks, they were trading back. They built draft capital for next year and got some extra picks this year, too. I mean, they came away with a lot of picks, seven or eight guys, I think. And then on top of it, they didn't take players too early. I mean, they weren't I'm not going to lie. There were some times when they traded back, and I'm like, what are they doing? But they obviously had a plan. They knew when certain players were dropping, and they were able to get guys in later rounds that I would have personally thought, not having that type of inside knowledge that, hey, I thought they might have to go third round, but then they got them fifth. It's honestly pretty crazy, man. I mean, they know what they're doing, man. Howie's really redeemed himself over the last few years, man.
Yes, sir.
He really has. Rich, what's up,
Yo,
brother?
what's up?
Big Rich.
What's up, my G? What's going on, man? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I like the green headphones, man. You got them for the
Thank you.
locked in for the birds, man.
My last green one's broke, so I'm like, I had to give me another pair.
Gotta rep the channel, man. Yeah. Shout out to Rich, man. If you guys haven't checked out his YouTube channel, definitely go over. He's got birds, eagles content. That's what he covers over there on his channel. And then Rich, you can drop your tag. It's Rich M Media, right, on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll actually put that in the comments for you guys. So I always like to, shout your channel out when you come on, man. Especially, I mean, we're talking about the Eagles right now, man. That's what your content surrounds. So it's like, it's perfect.
Yeah, I advertised the Locked In podcast is on Rich and Media. You can find it on there too. But of course, always go to the source first. And where are you guys at right now? What's been popping? What's going on?
We literally just dove right into it. So we were a little past the we kind of went live right around the 6:40 mark. So and then we played the intro. So we're literally just fresh to the conversation here, man. We were talking a little behind the scenes, man. But what a crazy draft it's been, right, man? Like so many moves. I think they said Howie made the most like trades that it's never been seen before, not just in the Eagles organization, I think across the NFL, the history of the NFL draft. So we obviously were not stagnant, man. We were very active. We just consistently moving. So good things, man.
Yeah, a lot of draft compensation for the next season, for the next off season, for the next draft in 2025. He got a lot. I believe he got like over 6 extra picks. Like so we're going to be loaded next season, and I'm pretty sure he's going to run it back and maybe do the same thing here he did this draft on the next one, depending on all of that stuff depends on the talent levels and how things are measuring up in the draft. Is remember, I don't know if y'all heard how he thought he would have to trade up to get Quinyon Mitchell, and he didn't even have to do that.
Yeah, incredible. Honestly, man, we are short up for a long time. Like the good thing is like when you get these players through the draft, is they're on that you got them on the cheap money. Like for even if they go in the first round, they're not on a big deal yet. So you got these players locked in. Like a lot of the defensive players, they're all like these guys coming out of the draft are young guys. Like so you're locked in for years. I love the other thing that people weren't talking about as much. AJ Brown, they extended on. They gave AJ Brown his money. There was a lot of rumors, AJ Brown going to be out of here. They're going to trade AJ Brown. All this other stuff that was kind of going on in the background. They extended AJ Brown, so he's here. Extended Devontae in this offseason. So we're short up at the wide receiver position. We got Saquon for 3 years. Hurts is on his deal. We're short up for a long time, man. Extended Dickerson. This team is loaded, man. They just make the numbers work, and it's incredible to see. It honestly has me really excited for this upcoming season, especially after the doozy we kind of had down the stretch last year. I'm just really excited to see what the Eagles are doing this season.
Yeah. And people keep saying like, "Yo, where's Howie getting this money from?" He extended Devonta and AJ Brown and signed Saquon. We're just like, where's he getting this money from?
I'm right there
and
with
Jordan
you.
Mailata, and the other guard. What's his name? Dickerson.
Dickerson, they extended him 4 years, and they gave him like $7 million.
Where's he getting his money? So it's just everybody's hating on the Eagles. I love it. Love to see it.
I know. Now I understand why they had to kind of, I think, do what they had to do with Reddick. They make the money work a little bit, man, because you saw all the extensions and stuff. With all the extensions they've taken, like extending Mailata, because I think when they got rid of Reddick, I think they still actually had to extend Devontae at that time too. So they extend Devontae, had to extend AJ, and they had to extend Mailata too, because Dickerson had already been extended at that point. So they had a lot of extending to do. And I think what they wanted to do was they wanted Reddick to come here on a team-friendly deal, because they weren't going to give a defensive end, even though I will say he's worth it. At 30 years old, they don't want to give a defensive end, an edge rusher, that type of money. But he's worth it. So, I mean, I completely understand Hassan Reddick wanting to go get his money. He's worth it. I mean, the guy's had 10-plus sacks, the last 4 years? That's rare company, man. You don't see that very often.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it.
That's our best defender, though. I know that's the only thing I don't really like about this offseason, because who's going to be able to run, stop, and pass rush like Hassan Reddick can? Who's going to have that passion on that defensive line like he came from the city, because Reddick came from Philadelphia. So he got a certain, and we're bringing Huff in on an assumption that he's going to mirror what he did the previous season with the 10 sacks. So I hope, it's a kind of a gamble, man. It's kind of a gamble.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see Huff develop alongside Reddick because Huff is still has a lot to prove really in this league. So I would have loved to see him play alongside Reddick, which I thought was honestly the game plan when he came here. I understand, why they had to do what they had to do with Reddick though. Now seeing all these extensions, I understand like all the money that they were gonna, put out there. And I agree with you, Rich. I think that's the one L that they took this offseason. If you could, I think this is absolutely 100% perfect offseason if you were able to keep Reddick too. That's the only slight is that. But all the moves that we've made, I'll take it. And the Eagles still could get it, see what's out there, get some type of edge rusher. I understand you're not going to get a Son Reddick type of caliber player, but I think they'll still make some more moves as well.
Yeah, man. And we got his sort of replacement. We got Huff. So it's not a total loss, but yeah, I get what Rich is saying. Like Reddick was from the city. He was a dog the past 2 years. So let's see what Huff can do. But this is a business at the end of the day, and Howie was willing to sacrifice Reddick to make these extensions.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it makes sense. At the end of the day, when the numbers add up, is it like, would you rather keep Reddick or would you rather lose AJ Brown, or would you rather, I think it's smart business to one. I will say this in the sense of where Rob is coming off of, because Rob makes a good point about making business sense, because there is a productivity expectation and there is emotions and connections to the cities and things, but there's also the business aspect comes first. And when the business aspect tells us to extend Devontae, extend AJ, what is this going to do to the overall wide receiver market? What do you guys think when you do this stuff? You sign them early, you pay them less money because that money, that market's going to shoot up. And from off of AJ Brown's contract, when Justin Jefferson gets signed, when CeeDee Lamb gets signed, all them dudes are going to be asking for a lot more than what AJ Brown is just got paid, and AJ Brown just got paid a lot. So the other teams behind us who's signing these wide receivers, they got to figure out how the heck they going to sign these dudes and pay. You gonna gotta pay CeeDee Lamb, and you gotta figure out how to pay Parsons. So
yeah, no, I agree, and that's the thing. You don't want someone like AJ Brown with the aggressive personality to run into like that issue where he might like test the mark. You know what I mean? That once like you don't want to run into a situation where you can't pay him, like you start to struggle with your money. I understand, like in this city, like we value offense very heavily. Like we want like the explosive players, and obviously you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Like if you're trying to win now, like I understand why they did what they did. Like, it sucks. It does suck to see Reddick, a hometown kid, go, but it's a business. Unfortunately, it's just how it goes. But overall, I mean, we'll get into the draft picks. We drafted defensive end, but he was I want to get like his name because his name is we drafted in the third round.
Jalix
Hunt. Yeah, so we took Jalix Hunt in the third round. He's a defensive end, and that's what it says right here, like in the analysis. Hassan Reddick was traded to the Jets in the offseason. We signed Bryce Huff in the agency, and Brandon Graham. I don't even want to say most likely. I think this just absolutely is his final year. So, with that, that was a big move. The guy's 6'4", 252 pounds, and he was actually ranked among fifth among all edge rushers, actually testing at the combine. So he went to a small school in Houston Christian, but this guy can actually play linebacker too. Like he's an edge, but he's actually even played linebacker because he's got speed. What I don't want to compare him because obviously, Parsons is Parsons, but I'm just saying like that's kind of what Parsons does too. Remember, Parsons came in the league as a linebacker, but Parsons is off the edge a lot. So you kind of see how they play Parsons in Dallas. So obviously Michael Parsons is Michael Parsons, but I am happy that they took they filled a lot of the needs that they really needed, to be honest, in this draft. So they took that guy, and a lot of people didn't really know who he was. I'll be honest. I was trying to get them to get Trotter in the 3rd round. They're able to get Trotter in the 5th round. I mean, I think a lot of people went Trotter early. They're like, oh, somebody's gonna get him, and they knew what they were doing clearly.
Yeah, what I really liked about the draft is how like we got Cooper and DeJean in the 2nd round, and he was first round talent, and then we got Mitchell in the late 1st round, and he was higher, um, projected higher talent than 22nd. So we got a bunch of steals. I noticed that in the draft, bunch of steals, and even Jelix Hunt is like, yeah, he didn't play at a proven school, but his athletic ability is uh, raw talent is crazy. If we figure out a way to develop that, because he played safety, I noticed he played safety, so he has coverage skills. But then now he's sized up to be a defensive end. So
safety for Cornell.
Yeah. So we got a lot of steals in this draft. So yeah, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, same, man. It's like you said, the first 2 picks of the draft that we got were guys that fell. You know, Mitchell was projected, I think, top 15, and then DeJean was definitely projected 1st round. You know, that we got, I'd say we got 2 of the 3 top secondary players, you know, that were ranked in this draft. I think it was DeJean, Mitchell, and I think Terry and Arnold out there in Bama that I think the Lions picked up. And yeah, that's insane that DeJean went in the 2nd round. And I think that the Eagles made such a smart pick trading up right before they got to Green Bay. Because I'm not going to lie, I think Green Bay was going to take DeJean if he got there. I think if he fell there because he fit a need for them. And they were all saying, they're like, Green Bay's probably pissed right now because the Eagles traded up right in front of them and stole DeJean because I think they were going to take him. So they made a lot of good chess moves at the right times, to be honest.
I'm going to make a real quick bold prediction, y'all.
Go ahead, man.
I feel like Trotter Jr. I think he's gonna overtake Nakobe Dean. That's just what I feel like. I don't know. You could call it what you call it, but Trotter Jr. has less wear and tear on his body. Trotter Jr. has dad who's been a person who's been a big figure in the city, who played in the city, who can in the same position, I believe, as well. So he's been on the defensive side and on the Philadelphia Eagles team with a passionate fan base. So he knows how to give his son the rundown for how to play in the city and what we're expecting and what he's got a dad that's basically a linebackers coach, telling him what to do from the gate. And he's been raised that.
Yeah,
that's valuable.
Exactly. You have a guy right from the start. Exactly. I was going to say, a lot of people were saying it's hard because how good of a career Trot have. I don't think it's fair to his son to like compare his career directly to him. But I think that he is going to. There's a lot of people that were like hating that were saying, oh, you know, he don't have the size. He don't have the
undersized. Yeah. I was wondering why he dropped so far.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was undersized. But I will say this: if anybody can like be good in this, like can play great football in the city, is somebody who already like grew up in this culture. Like he grew up around the city too. He said that he grew up around the city. So like the thing about it is like he already knows like this fan base, all this stuff, and he has a father, like you were saying, you know, that understands the game, same position. You know what I mean? He's already played here, and I'll be honest. I don't think there's I think a lot of people need to take the expectations off it and just let this kid play free. You know what I mean? Like he could pop off, and a lot of people might doubt him, but you know what? He could just come this year and just prove that could actually be fuel to the fire for a guy like that. And he does I think he will outperform Dean. I'll be honest. And the only other real competition is what of the veteran that we have in there that we picked up, Devin White. So I'm like, that's not really competition. You're playing alongside the guy, so. It's and we're so stout in the secondary right now, and I do think we're pretty stout up front too with the defensive. You know what I mean? It's like the linebacker has always been the position that the Eagles have always kind of had questions at because they always say, what do they say? Oh, the Eagles don't value the linebacker position. Well, I'm happy that they took a linebacker because I'm not gonna lie, when he kept falling, I'm like, are they gonna take a linebacker? Because I know all the time like they never take linebackers, but. it was a big move, and I think him being a part of this culture and being a part of this city already, I think it's going to go a long way for the kid.
Yeah, and we got to remember we're playing 3-4 defense now, so we got to stack on the linebackers.
Yeah.
We have 4 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen. So yeah, we got to stack the linebackers. It's key with 3-4 defense. So this is the first time we're doing 3-4 since I think the Chip Kelly age. So it's been a while. We're always 4-3. Ever since I was a kid, we always played 4-3.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see.
Hey, it's going to be really interesting. That's Fangio's scheme now, and like me and Rob were actually saying before the episode, before we went live, that Fangio actually handpicked Jackson Hunt. He was actually handpicked by Fangio, so to fit, because I guess he's going to be a solid fit to his scheme. I think the way that they're going to play.
Yeah, even Howie Roseman had asked. There was some information that leaked over the media where they were saying Howie Roseman was asking Daniel Jeremiah to take Jalix Hunt off his big board because he wanted to keep it a secret of how talented he was. He wanted to kind of keep that like
on the low,
yeah. Yeah, and then it's we have a lot of that's a smart move though. Keep him off the board. You don't want anything else to take him.
Man, I mean, the only person it's not a smart move for is Nick Wright. He's a little goofy guys. Like Nick Wright is always talking negative about the Eagles. In a sense, he's a big Eagles hater, one of the biggest Eagles hater.
Yeah, he's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, and he's all mad. First and foremost, all these people that he was talking about wasn't going to hit or whatever. All these people that he was saying, oh, how he did this and did that just because it's popular. But I mean, look at Devontae Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like even with he was trying to say that Nolan Smith was all a hyped up pick and he didn't really do anything. Nolan Smith is a pretty solid draft pick, and typically it takes a year. You know what I mean? It takes a year or two for them to fully develop into a full NFL player. So Nolan Smith, I think, is going to take a step up. But he's by no means is Nolan Smith. We saw some nice flashes last year. So by no means, Howie's been hitting on a lot of his picks. There's always going to be some picks that's not going to turn out the way you think, either due to the injury bug or due to just poor play. But I just think it's ridiculous how, every time he gets credit or every time he gets either some anonymous GM that's coming out where they never release their identity, but it's always some anonymous GM that said, oh, why is Howie getting all this credit? There's always somebody in the media who obviously roots for another team like New York or like the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of hate in there, or the Cowboys. It's a lot of hate on the media right now. But the number one thing that I'm happy about is that the Cowboys know that compared to us, their draft was trash.
Their off season was trash.
I was gonna say that their off season, it hasn't done, you know what I mean? It's just been garbage.
They haven't done anything.
Nothing at all, dude. Nothing at all.
Do they even got a running back? Like
they got Ezekiel Elliott back.
Wasn't they clowning Elliott when he left, talking about he's trash, he's washed up?
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're excited. Now they're excited because they got Zeke back. That's wild. Dallas, I honestly, Dallas is always in the mix, but like they obviously choke in the playoffs. I think this might be the year Dallas takes a step back. I don't think they're going to take a crazy step back, but I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back this year. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
They were saying even on paper, the Commanders actually on paper look better than Dallas right now. Like with some of the moves they made this offseason. They're actually saying on paper the Giants are still the bottom of the division, but that's why the Knicks fans. That's the one sport they got to root for. Because I would actually say hockey too. With the Rangers, but other than that, I mean the Mets ain't doing nothing. The Knicks. that's a whole nother discussion. Obviously, guys, we're Philadelphia guys. Sixers playing tonight, Game 6. Kind of just I don't ever know what to expect with the Sixers, though, man. Like I'm not getting my hopes up because like I don't know, man. They like that would be so classic. Like I honestly give the Sixers like honest credit. Like Maxey balled the fuck out the other night, and he showed a hell of a lot of great. Like we're gonna be set with Maxey for a long time. I don't know. Like it's they extended the series, so they showed great. I'm happy they didn't just roll over. Wouldn't that just be classic for the Sixers to come back here tonight and then just I've seen it so many times. They come home and then a game that they're supposed to win. And remember, I'm not even trying to look at the negative, but if you go to Game 7s, I don't think Joel Embiid's ever won a Game 7 in his career. Every time we've ever gone to Game 7, we always find a way to choke. But, things are meant to be broken. We'll see. I wouldn't even – but if you're a Sixers fan, I would say don't put too much expectation in it because then you really, just enjoy the game. Just watch the game and, it's just no expectation. If they win, hey, it's going to be real interesting because you get to see a Game 7. Against two heavy hitting teams, and I don't know. We'll see, man. If they somehow come out of the series, it'd be crazy though.
Right. That would be
wild.
Yeah. If we bring it to Game 7 and then win, that would be crazy.
It really would be, because I think they could beat either the Pacers or the Bucks. The Bucks are banged up as like crazy. And even the Pacers, they're a good team, Halliburton and stuff. They play hard. But I think the Sixers are a bit, the Sixers are a little bit, even with a hobbled Embiid, a little bit too much of a strong match for the Pacers. But, I mean, obviously the juggernaut is Boston. I mean, if you do get out of it. But I'd be happy if the Sixers get to Eastern Conference Finals, man. I don't care if they play Boston and lose, like whatever, man. It'd be nice to finally just, make some progress, finally get out of that freaking second round. And just get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It sucked to lose to Boston, but whatever. Like,
we got to get out the first one first.
Exactly. Exactly. We got to win this round. And, yeah. I don't know. I knew the Knicks were going to be a tough challenge, though. I think a lot of people thought, like, I saw some Sixers fans saying it was going to be Sixers and 4 and stuff. I'm like, no freaking way, man. The Knicks do play hard. I will say, though, and a lot of Knicks fans, will probably talk shit for it, but I'll be honest, like they got handed that game too. So it should be 3-2 Sixers right now. They got handed game 2. And I think then they were calling Embiid a crybaby and he was dirty and all that in Game 3 after he had like a big game. They were saying he's dirty. He pulled Mitchell Robinson down. He said the dirtiest player in the league and shit. He should have been ejected. I was like, yo. I mean, it's wild. But back to the Eagles. I don't know. This is going to be I think it's going to be a solid year. They really did what they were supposed to do. They took the defensive players. And that's what I always say, like with Howie Roseman and the Eagles, like you never know what they're going to take. A lot of people were like saying, like you watch, they're going to take an offensive tackle, trenches guys, like right in the first round. But honestly, it was the first time they drafted a corner in the first round since Lito. So 2001.
Yeah. This draft, we focused on defense.
Yep.
A lot. I didn't even think we got an offensive player to like the 4th round. Yeah, Shipley. So, showed up the defense and we got some corners. Eagles never draft corners.
No.
Like you said, it's been a while. So, and we always weak at the corner position somehow throughout the years, whether it's Bradbury 1 year or it's an injury. So. It's good to finally show up that corner position, man.
Yeah, and young corners are important, man, because a cornerback is one of those positions where, once you get older and your speed starts to go down, it becomes tougher. Like, you need speed at the corner position. So it's good to have a 21, 22, 20-year-old corner, coming out of the draft, be able to come and, like, be able to run. And, Rob, you were right on the speed for Mitchell. They said he ran in a 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.33.
Crazy.
He said blazing fast.
And then he rep bench press 20 times. For a cornerback, 20 times?
What did he rep?
Bench press 225.
225 for that type of speed? Shoo, it's a freak of nature, man.
That's athletic, man.
That is athletic, man. That's crazy. throwing that type of weight back at that size, like that's wild. Yeah, I didn't even know that, but yeah, no, they said like he's a guy who's a starter. Like right, they said if all goes well, they said veteran James Bradbury coming off a rough season, he'll start over Bradbury most likely. That's crazy. I mean, they're gonna keep Bradbury, I guess, for depth at that position. And the DeJean pick, I think like DeJean is like a Swiss Army knife. You can plug him in multiple places. That's why I actually don't think he'll be on the outside. But I mean, he might like from time to time, but I think majority of the time they'll probably have him more on the inside. But he can do a lot. Like he's built well, and he honestly is very versatile. He's a versatile pick.
So
yeah,
Steve, oh sorry, we say rap. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say Eugene very like you said with the versatility. He can punt return, he can catch very well. He's like a Swiss Army knife in the backfield, in the defensive backfield. So go ahead, Rich.
I sent you a graphic of all the Eagles draft picks here. If you want to post them on the screen, you can open and download that and post it up just so we have everything in front of us. And I was wrong, correction earlier. I was wrong about the compensation picks for 2025. Howie added 3, a 2025 third, fourth, and fifth round pick.
Oh wow.
So that has everything lined up for us. If you want to go over things, I know that we already went over Mitchell, DeJean,
Hunt. This screen here. This is the drawing that you had right here, Rich. I put that up. So you just sent over. So it's draft class, and they took Mitchell obviously first, then DeJean, Hunt, Shipley. Shipley's going to be I think a sleeper pick, man. Like he's a third string running back for us. He's come out of Clemson, and he's got some power. So they got Will Shipley. He honestly might if he plays well enough, he might actually be second in the rotation and have Gainwell back to 3.
I feel like he's going to be second, man. I feel like Gainwell is he's got some tear on him, man. He's got some tear on him, Gainwell. And
I know you're not a big Gainwell guy.
Nah, I'm not. It's just enough to get the first down, and then he goes down usually, in my opinion. He's not really a big run guy. Like Saquon has a certain level of burst, you know. Who we get rid of? I already forgot his name already. Dang.
What the
he went to the Bears or a running back from last year.
Swift.
Swift has some burst once he gets, you know, but I haven't really seen you know, I see this guy Shipley, and he's a freak of nature, man. He reminds me so much of a almost like a Alvin Kamara type running back, almost like a
They said the only reason he dropped the 4 was his hands was securing the football a little bit. That's one thing he's got to shore up a little bit. I was hearing just the fumbles. Like so, if he could shore up and hold on to that, which is a big part. That's probably why he dropped it to the 4th round. But if he could shore that up, they said like this dude, he's got the athletic ability. Like he's fast, he's strong. He's got to shore up securing the football. That's what I heard.
He looks like he has the body type, man, to be shifty, to be like power. It's a good combination of power and speed right there. He just looks like he's hungry. Like I look at his highlights, I look at how he is on the field, and he just runs like hungry, man. Like and he does seem like he has good hands, at least for catching the ball. And like you said, he got to shore up the security though of it.
Yeah, of course. Then we got wide receiver too. We got Aiyana Smith out of Texas A&M. You know, a solid pick. You know, adding depth to the wide receiver room. Obviously, you know, we have Devontae Parker sitting in like the 3 spot, I think, right now. Devontae Parker, obviously AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith are your top 2. Parker behind them, and you got this guy too out of Texas A&M. Oh, and I keep forgetting too. We got Paris Campbell too from the Giants too. Keep forgetting about that. That's another bit of a sleeper move.
Yes,
at least Skip Bayless was pissed about that because he said Paris Campbell apparently can be like a crazy like sleeper type of move for the Eagles from the Giants.
Am I wrong, or does he kick return?
Campbell,
yeah.
Oh, I mean, look, that's a good point.
I know Parker can do punt returns. Devontae
Yeah.
Parker.
Didn't they say DeJean can do that too?
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Kick return, like, let me see. You might be right here. Yeah, he's done kick returning before, so yeah, he can. Yeah, he's done it too. People were saying that they said, "Little low key, our special teams are going to be popping off this year." They got a lot of guys that can like kick return and like play on the special teams line. It's not really it's kind of a gray area. It's not really an area you really look at too much, especially not on the return game. I think more special teams you look at your kicker, and obviously we got Jake Elliott, who's one of the best in the business, most reliable. But that's crazy. I mean, you think about it, we haven't really had a return specialist like in years. Just think about that for a second. I mean, we got Covey, and he's reliable. Like, he holds onto the football. He doesn't fumble it, but he plays it very safe. Like, we don't ever really get returns out of Covey like that. So it'd be crazy if you could add something to the arsenal that could honestly get you some returns. You don't really see them as much in this day and age, I feel. Not like back in the day when you had like Devin Hester and stuff. And he would like Devin Hester would just beast mode, man.
How do we feel about Trevor Keegan, offensive guard, Michigan?
I've heard good things about him. I don't know what you guys think. They're saying he's a big steal and one of the biggest steals in the draft.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard the same.
But I'm not 100% sure why. But I know his size. He has great size, but he has great raw talent apparently.
Cool. I mean, wasn't Kelsey taken in like the 5th round? I think, right? When they drafted Jason Kelsey in the 5th round. I feel like you might be able to get a guard out of there. A lot of times, a lot of trenches guys go early, but I mean, I feel like you can get some steals in the draft with these guys. But Rob, I've heard the same thing. I don't really know much about the guy, but I did hear he's got good size and he could low-key be a steal for us. And Rob, I was telling you about this guy too, Johnny Wilson, who's a wide receiver. This guy's like 6'6" apparently. I think like 2'4", like a 2. Let me see what this guy's like, because he's 6. I know he's 6'6". Let me see what his like full like. Yeah, so he's 6'6", 231 pounds. They said he's not your average receiver. It's easy to understand why the Eagles want to take a chance in the later rounds on a guy with this type of size. He does a 4.52 and a 40-yard dash. So yeah, 4.52. And he didn't post like crazy exceptional numbers in college, they say. He said, but if he can develop on the next level, he'd be well worth the investment, especially taking him in the 6th round. Guy's got crazy size, so it would be easy to like kind of. And he's played tight end, I think, before too. So you could slip him in the tight end as well, I think, if you need to, because he's got the size of like a tight end, to be honest. So it'd be interesting to see. And I don't really know much about the guard here at the end too, Dylan McMahon. He was a 6th round pick as well. I don't really know too much on him. That's probably the one I've heard the least on, but it's a late 6th, a 6th round pick. And then it looks like we added, 3 picks as well. So I heard we got 9 in total next year. So I think we had 6. So we picked up 3 additional picks next year. We had 9 picks next year. This is going to be crazy. That's wild. Wow. 9 picks. You never know. Howie might trade back too and get more next year.
For real.
You never know.
Knowing Howie, man. So, I mean, Super Bowl or bust, man. So I'm not really worried about the picks.
Absolutely.
I'm not really worried about the picks right now.
Nah, man. Yeah, exactly, dude. They're the only. The Lions. They'll still be good. But they ain't gonna. I don't think they're gonna have the type of season they had last year. To be honest, they're gonna have a tougher schedule this year. San Fran's gonna be in the mix, no doubt about it. San Fran is, they're that team. They got Christian McCaffrey. Dude's a fucking beast, and the defense is ridiculous. Still got Fred Warner. One thing I will tell you though, about San Francisco, a lot of people keep forgetting about this. Whatchamacallit, tore what was it, Achilles in the Super Bowl, is Achilles for Greenlaw. So he's gonna be out for quite a while. He ain't gonna be starting the season. He might not make it back till like they get to the playoffs. Let me be honest, Achilles is a long injury, man.
Yeah, that tore up Kobe. Kobe wasn't the same after that, man.
Nah, man, exactly. Oh, basketball is gigantic. Yeah, I mean it's big in football too. Basketball, you need to be able to jump shoot. Like you need to plant, and like if you can't plant, like in basketball, to take that jump shot, like it's a wrap.
Yeah, that Achilles injury is not a joke.
Yeah, it's huge. It's I remember when Durant had his, man. I saw in the NBA Finals, and they brought him back in. And Durant, as soon as the Achilles, if you've seen it slow mo too, it's disgusting. Like it popped, and all you see is like the motion shoot up like his calf. And then when he went down, he just fell to the ground. He held his Achilles, and he just told them like he couldn't get up. Like he's just like, yeah, it was over. It's a gruesome injury, man. Look at Rodgers last year, right down and boom. Like it's just. You can't put any weight on it. It's like that and ACL are like the most like they're like career enders, man, for a lot of people. If you tear your ACL or you tear your Achilles, it's like pick your poison. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people keep forgetting about that though. Dre Greenlaw is going to be out for quite a bit for them. And I think they picked up some other linebackers too. But as much as I can't stand Dre Greenlaw, I mean he's a talented as hell linebacker, man. He's a top linebacker in the league. Fred Warner is the best middle linebacker in the league. I don't even think it's close. They're going to be in the mix, no doubt about it. So it's probably going to be us, San Fran, and I'm not going to lie. Green Bay's probably going to take another step up. To be honest, I think Jordan Love is the real deal, and I think they got a pretty stout defense as well. I think they're going to take a step up.
Green Bay is the only team I'm worried about in the East, to be honest with you, is Green Bay.
Not San Fran? You ain't worried about San Fran?
Nah, I'm not worried about San Fran. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not worried about.
They just got Ricky Marshall too.
I'm not worried about San Fran because their quarterback is not a game changer. All you have to do
last year, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Huh?
He played pretty well last year, man. I'll be honest. I didn't have that type of expectation for him last year.
He played well because he has Christian McCaffrey. He has the best check down. He has the best running back. I guarantee you, what we saw from Jalen Hurts, and goes into Jalen Hurts, is my point. The step back that Jalen Hurts took last year versus the year before, we're gonna see a lot of that stuff because we got Saquon Barkley. A lot of that stuff is going to get covered up. So a lot. He's also going to have an actual offensive coordinator this year who's going to know more than 5, 6 plays. He's learning a new system now. Yep. These teams have to deal with a new system, and this happened with the Washington Redskins when they got RG3. You know what I'm saying? It was a new system that was implemented for RG3. And they won the division. I think that was the last time Washington won the division, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the good thing is these coordinators are guys who have been around. So Kellen Moore and Fangio. It's not like last year where we have Brian Johnson coming in, a guy who's never, ever been at that position. And the same thing on the defensive side. What's his name? Desai. These guys had never, ever done the position. They had never been in that type of position before. Kellen Moore, I honestly personally I actually liked Kellen Moore in Dallas, to be honest. I didn't like him on Dallas, but to be honest, I thought he did a pretty good job. And even some people I know that are Cowboys fans said that he was kind of a scapegoat for McCarthy when they got rid of him and he went over to the Chargers. And then Fangio, he's been around the league. He's been, obviously, if you want to say veteran on the coaching side of the football, he's been around the league for a long time. I think they're going to be all right. I will say this: Jalen Hurts is my fucking guy. But there are no excuses this year, man. The way this team is built, and I'm gonna be honest, Kellen Moore is a pretty solid coordinator. Even though the Chargers were bad last year, you got to think it was the defense. The majority of the times, the offense was scoring points, and the defense was just letting out more points, man. Especially late in games, the Chargers were hard. And honestly, a lot of people are like, "Oh, why did the Chargers let them go then?" Well, a lot of people got to understand too. Jim Harbaugh was coming there, and he probably wants to bring his staff to the team. That's usually how some of these coaches are. They want to bring their own guys in. So it probably wasn't really a knock on Moore, but yeah, there's no excuse, man. Hurts got to be better this year. He got to play like similar to how he did in 2022. He definitely took a step back last year, but I think he is going to take this step forward, man. Hurts is a gamer. He's a gamer, this kid. Like I think that he's going to put that work in. And
he's been working hard. You got to know he was hurt last year. Not for nothing. He was playing hurt most of the year last year because they
Yeah.
kept making him do these dumb coordinators kept making him do these stupid QB design runs, and he's getting hurt. You can't take a hit every time you do these QB design runs. They're gunning for him, especially and a lot of the it was a hit he took during the Cowboys game. It was that first Cowboys game we won.
Yeah.
Um, he took a nasty hit and he stood up and he threw a bomb of a touchdown after he took that hit. But he Hurts was limping after that hit, man.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he was never the same for the rest of the season after that hit. I remember that. So I feel like no excuses. Of course, he has no excuses this year. He's fully healthy. He has the best weapons in the league. He has an established offensive coordinator. So right now it's time to roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I expect him. I don't think. I don't hope. That's why I invested when he first came into the league. It bought me a Hurt season hat. Shout out Lord Brunson. Brought me a Hurt season hat because it's an expectation, of his work ethic and the things that he overcome when he going from Alabama to Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And still starting for Oklahoma and winning for Oklahoma. Hurts is a winner. You know what I'm saying? And I feel, to be in the league like what, 2 years, 3 years, and you win your first NFC championship while quarterbacks Dak Prescott been in the league for what, 6-7 years, hasn't even made it to the NFC championship. So
Yeah.
and it's a lot more quarterbacks I can throw into that basket. It's not just Dak Prescott.
Cowboys fans Cowboys fans that Cowboys fans gonna be like, well, Dak goes to the NFC East. I don't care, bro. When's the last time you've been to an NFC championship?
That had nothing to do with getting to the playoff tournament. You know what I'm saying? Because Howie Roseman's goal is to get to the playoff tournament. That's why we got a GM. That's why Jerry Jones sat on his little old behind, his 1,000-year-old behind, and didn't do nothing. And we have Howie Roseman. He's a young gunner. You know what I'm saying? We got what we got. We got 2 starting cornerbacks out of this draft. I guarantee you, these boys by the end of the season. By the time I'm not going to sit here and say that I feel like Mitchell's a starter off the bat.
Yeah,
he's just a dog. He's the best corner in the draft.
He's built different.
The Gene may start. To me, it's 50-50 for him because they might make him change positions. We got to see where they put him. We don't even know where they're going to put him.
Yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife. He's versatile, so they'll probably stick him different spots. I'll be honest. I'll probably say his primary position, if I had to take a guess, would probably be the safety position, which they'll probably alternate. Me and Rob were saying they'll probably alternate him with Blankenship, I think, on the safety side of it, and then they'll be able to plug him with, on one side with CJ Gardner-Johnson. And that's the thing that a lot of people low-key are forgetting too. He's a leader, CJ Gardner-Johnson, on the defensive side. He's vocal, a leader, a dog. Like, that's a guy that is gonna. And we were lacking that last year on the defensive side. But the coordinators are going to be a huge improvement. Like, I don't care how good that offense is stacked. If you put Brian Johnson back there, it wouldn't matter. Be honest, right? I mean, you saw last year they had nothing in the playbook. This shit was so predictable. Screen. They never were. They're so predictable.
Brian Johnson couldn't make a dog chase a bone, dog. Let's be real about this. Everybody. It was little kids calling out the plays. Last season, man. I seen little kids sitting down. I don't know how little kids got in the bar, but they got in. But they was like, "Oh, he about to do another screen pass." What was it? Another screen pass? Devontae Smith got laid out, flat on his back. Like, we're gonna get our players hurt. That's how our players get hurt, because everybody already know what we're gonna do.
he do a screen one way, then do a screen the other way. It's just like, what?
I had to, but like we were watching and we're like, yo, are they throwing a game? Like, they have to be throwing a game, dude. There's just no way. Like, how are we as fans watching at home? We got no skin in the game. Like, we're not professional coaches. We're already predicting what you're throwing. If we at home can predict what you're throwing, what do you think professionals on the other side of the ball are thinking? They're like, look at these clowns. Like, you got all that talent and not be able to run effective plays is crazy. It's going to be a big improvement, this year. No doubt in my mind. Like,
we were last in the league, Steve. We were last in the league for pre-snap motion.
Ridiculous.
On
Remember we kept saying that? We were saying that last year. We said there's no motion on this freaking offense. Every single time it's stagnant. You don't see any motion. The good thing is Kellen Moore runs a lot of motion. He runs a lot of motion. So it's going to be a big change. With these weapons, I cannot see, knock on wood, pending the injury bug, I can't see why this is going to be one of the most dynamic why it isn't going to be one of the most dynamic offenses in the league this year. I don't see any reason why it won't be, because they are loaded with talent, and you got a much better coordinator. And they did keep Sirianni. And Sirianni, he was still fine in 2022 when he had what's his name here? With the Colts now. I'm trying to think. I forget what his name is. You know what I'm talking about, the head coach of the Colts, Shane Steichen.
Yeah.
He had Steichen here. He was fine. And then Gannon on the defensive side. So we'll see. If I'll be honest, if they come out to a losing streak this year, he's going to be on the hot seat. If they start losing games early, it's not going to look good for Sirianni.
Yeah. I my head's not there, man. I just don't see it. I feel like,
we're too talented.
Yeah,
they're way too talented.
They're way too angry about how last season ended. You know what I'm saying? It's got too many competitive players on this team and how last year ended. Yeah.
Speaking of interesting, man, I'm not gonna lie. This game to start the season is gonna be interesting because we're playing Green Bay and Brazil, and I think they're gonna be one of the top teams in this conference. It's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of did you hear they took away one of our home games for that Brazil game this year? So they took away one of our home games for it. They should just make it a road game for both Green Bay and us.
Well, you know why they did that, though, right?
They're trying to expand.
They're trying to expand, but they took away our home game specifically is because last season when we're up there going to play New York, play DC, when we play any team like Redskins or New York or any team that's close in our vicinity to our city, our fans end up taking over the other team's stadium. You know what I'm saying? And even when we played I believe was it the Rams last year we played or so. It was some random team. Yeah, I think it was the Rams. We took over the Rams stadium out there in Cali. We're all the way out in California, Eagles fans. So they're listening. The NFL is listening when our coaches and our players are like, man, thank you for the fans. Thank you for making this feel like a home game. And Goodell's sitting back there, he's Goodell's a Washington Commanders fan, low key, yeah, that sucks for him. But, he's, so Goodell's kind of an Eagles hater. I wouldn't be surprised if halfway through that Super Bowl, he made a couple phone calls and said, hey, let's get this thing. Come on now. They can't be winning this job. We can't have. But anyways, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories. But what I will say is this. I think this team's going to hit the ground running. I think it's going to start in Brazil. I know a few Brazilian people that got connections to Philly. I already know. And I know Eagles fans who are going to Brazil for this game on some vacation / Eagles game type stuff. So I'm excited.
I don't blame them, to be honest. It's different. I'll be honest. I didn't really think there was a crazy market in Brazil. I'll be honest. I thought it was kind of a weird location to start kind of breaking down through. Yeah, I was
into soccer.
Yeah. In Europe, I understand because there are apparently even in London when they had the London games, there's Eagles bars out in London. I think in Europe it's a little different. It's weird, seeing it in Brazil. I don't know, man. I don't think it's just me, but it's.
Well, here's a fun fact too for you about Brazil. The stadium that we're playing in, that particular soccer team / football team, whatever you call it, their rivals wear green.
Yeah, I heard that.
And they hate green. So they almost their fans in the country, that part of the country does not want to allow teams. And both Green Bay and the Eagles both wear green.
I know. And they were saying when they're going to penalize them if they wear that's just wild to me. Why would you even do that?
So I'm thinking we go. What do you guys think we're gonna go color rush or something like that? Black or
maybe white, just wear the white or maybe the black. I don't know. That actually, you know what? That actually be a good game to wear the black. I'll be honest because it's you get it twice a year or something. I don't know, to open the season. You get Green Bay. That's gonna be a good game because Green Bay is gonna be. I think they're gonna be a top 3 team in the NFC. I think it's going to be us, San Fran, and Green Bay are going to be the top. I think the Lions will still be somewhat in the mix. I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back because the schedule going to be tougher. And I'm going to be honest. I think Dallas is really going to take a step back this year. I don't think they're going to be like horrible, but I think they'll be more middle of the pack, more so-so. I don't think they're going to be one of those top 3, top 4 teams in the NFC. I mean, we'll see. I've been proven wrong. I've thought that before, and Dak balls out during the season, but when it matters, we see what happens.
Not this year, man. His wide receiver ain't get paid. His wide receiver's sitting out right now.
So yeah, Gallup's gone too. Gallup's
gone, man.
They got Cooks? They got Cooks over there. Just Cooks and Lamb.
Man, ever since that Malcolm Jenkins hit in the Super Bowl, Cooks ain't never been the same. Ever since y'all know exactly what y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that level. And then they got what's that guy Ferguson, the tight end over there. He's all right. Like he's okay. I mean, I don't know, but they don't have a running back. They're bringing back Zeke. Zeke's aged, man. Like he's old for a running back, man. He's been in the league for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not the same. No way.
He's like a third option, probably on most teams, man. I'll be honest. Like you look at our running back room, dude. I'll be honest. Zeke be like a fourth option, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. I put him behind Shipley and Gainwell.
Eagles should have signed Zeke out of spite just to do it, so Dallas couldn't sign him.
Every time, then we just Boston Scott him. We plug him in like the inside the like 2-yard line, and every time he scores, he just does like the
that would work, yo. That would work.
That'd be hilarious.
We need to start doing wildcat formations with the tush push, like to where we get a running back in there instead of Jalen Hurts. And
tush push is gonna be fierce, man. I mean, you got Hurts and you got Barkley squatting like 600 and something pounds, man. They're gonna have Barkley behind the pile, man. Like
we won't even need the tush push for real. If we could just you just hand it to Barkley at that point.
Yeah, I just hope what she should be like. He had like the one bad injury in his career. As long as Barkley can stay healthy, man, this is gonna be he's gonna thrive more in this offense than he's ever thrived, man. Because he just like with the Giants, like I can't even imagine if we had Barkley when he first came in the league, dude. Like in this offense with this offensive line, man, he would have just been.
We'd have another Super Bowl, guaranteed. I guarantee you, if we had Barkley on that Super Bowl roster, we would have won that game. Because not for nothing, Sanders got shut down, bro, on that Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember, but the second string actually produced more than Sanders did, and I think Gainwell produced more than Miles Sanders did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is why they were so high on Gainwell last year. I think it was kind of coming off the high from the Super Bowl. Gainwell played well in the playoffs that year. We went to the bowl 2 years ago. I think that's why they were high on him, but I don't know, man. It's nice to have a nice running back room like we do. Like we got a lot of depth at the running back position.
Yeah, very true. And I would give Barkley a break, so that would be great, so he don't get hurt.
Exactly. And obviously we ain't gonna be running the ball on every play too, because we got studs in this. We got stud wide receivers, man, and a freaking top 5 tight end in the league too.
Don't forget about Goddard. We got a top 3 tight end, top 5 tight end at least in the league right now.
This guy Johnny Wilson might be a tight end, man. Sitting there at 6'6". I'll be honest. They might have him as like a second option.
Yeah, man. It's looking pretty scary because don't underestimate the fact Saquon Barkley is also running on real grass instead of turf. Like out in MetLife is like turf, and it's some of the worst turf in the NFL on MetLife. Now he gets to run on real grass in Philly, like fresh grass, man.
He said real grass.
Real grass. I'm telling you, man. Don't underestimate. Most of the ACL tears in the league come off of the turf. So yeah.
I'd hate to play on turf, man. Like turf's weird. It's just such a weird feel too. Like if you ever like been on turf, it's a weird feel. It just ain't I don't know. It's like an injury waiting to happen when you're on there. Yeah. It's amazing. You have to have some really good cleats, man. That's why it's like, you know what I mean? Because imagine just trying to wear regular shoes and play football on turf, man. Oh my God, that'd be horrible. Imagine just trying to wear running shoes and be playing on turf.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that'd be horrible. Oh my God.
I mean, shout out to Travis Kelce and New Heights because Travis Kelce was talking about how much he hated, like the number one thing he hates in the NFL, his biggest pet peeve, one of his most things that annoys him the most, is playing on turf. He says that his opinion is the NFL just needs to get rid of turf altogether.
They do.
So that says a lot.
Yeah, they should. They should get rid of it. I just need Mahomes to say it. Mahomes says it, maybe they will. Golden Boy says it, it'd be like, okay. Yeah, but you were saying about Nick Wright, this thing there or whatever. Nick Wright's a freaking Chiefs fan, so I mean, he gonna talk all the shit he wants because it's like he a Chiefs fan. So, and
he's a Cowboy lover too.
He's actually from Kansas City too, because I was like, oh, he's like a bandwagoner. And I like Google, like he's actually from Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm like, okay, no, Nick Wright's actually a Chiefs fan,
but the amount of hate that he gives the Eagles just for a Chiefs fan, I never heard of a Chiefs fan hating on the Eagles as much as I heard.
Yeah,
Nick Wright.
I don't know. Yeah, like it depends. Sometimes he does give us some props though. I'll be honest, like it's not always. I've seen sometimes. I'll be honest, and then like with like other sports like the Sixers and stuff, he gives the Sixers credit a lot. Like I know he likes football, but I think Nick Wright's more of a basketball guy, to be honest. Like he's like I think he's more known for like his basketball stuff. But so some people, man, it's like I can't really if they're gonna say stuff about a certain sport, it's probably not their expertise. So it's like they're not super credible. Like I know Stephen A, even though he'll talk football, he's a basketball guy. Like Stephen A, yeah, I mean he covered the Sixers. Like he's a New York guy, but he's a basketball guy for sure. And certain guys almost like shows are more football oriented. So it really depends.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I just think like mainstream media has been off for a while to the point where even mainstream media has kind of got off of the Cowboys bandwagon.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd's a clown, though. I'll tell you that, man. He ranked the Eagles like I think 9th or 10th, like going into this year. He's like, oh, they made all these moves like on the show. He's like at the draft. He's like, oh, they still just took picks that look good on paper. So I'm like, this dude's a freaking clown. Like he don't like. I can never consider like Colin Cowherd like ever credible, man.
He's mad because of how. He's low key bitter about the Eagles how we turned out last year because he was on our train last year. We're like when we were like 9 and whatever, like I think we were like 10-1 or whatever at the time, like before the 49ers game. He was like, oh, some of the only teams that have identity. He named a few. Eagles were definitely one of the teams that he was like, Philadelphia Eagles have an identity, they have it established. And right after that, he said that the collapse happened. So
I'll never forget what he said during the process. They need to get rid of Embiid's ass, and they need to keep Ben Simmons and make him the focal point. I'm like, my man's like, your credibility gone, bro. Like, it's like, dude, like,
yeah, I'm about to be out, dog, just because you said that. Like, he really said that. Like, I'm really about to be out.
There were a lot of Sixers fans that thought that way though, too, man. Now I don't want to say a lot, but there were some Sixers fans out there that were thinking, oh, they need to get rid of Embiid and keep Simmons. I'm like, dude, can you imagine how much of a disaster that would have been?
That would have been
Process would have been over. It would have been ended.
Nah, I call the Ben Simmons fans. I call them Ben Simmons, bro. I don't know where they come from. I don't know. It's the one dude. I don't know if you've seen this the video where this dude tried to get Ben Simmons' autograph when he came back in Philly, and he was ignored. And the caption was like, Ben Simmons lost his last fan. Like literally, like he lost the whole Philly fan base, man, when he did the holdout.
Yeah, he always been like that though. Because my barber, he said like years ago, this was when Simmons was first here. It was the year when he wasn't playing, like before his like essentially he started his second year here. He tried to call himself rookie of the year. Donovan Mitchell gave him shade. But it was his first year here when he wasn't even playing. He saw him at a bar, and I think him and his girl tried to go over to like his girl tried to go over. He's like, leave him alone. He had like his hood up and stuff. She's like, oh hey and stuff, and she wanted to like take a picture. Or I don't even think she wanted to take a picture. She just wanted to say something to him, and he was like, oh, keep it moving or something. Like he like didn't want nothing to do. Like he had his hood up. He's like, I understand not like wanting to be seen by people, but it's like, dude, you're 6'10", my man. It's like, let's be realistic, bro. It's gonna be kind of hard not to spot you.
Right.
even Embiid, I've heard like a couple of my buddies saw Embiid in his early years, like when he had just started here, like when he was like kind of injured still. They seen him at Morgan's Pier, and they both said he said the same thing. He's like he came and dapped them up and was like, no, I'm just chilling. Like he did no pictures and stuff, but he was cool. Like he dapped them up. He had like a drink in his hand. It was like
I'm just chilling. I'm just
chilling. But I'll be honest, like that was when he first came here. You could not get that close to Embiid nowadays, man.
Nah, security team.
Oh yeah, dude, you ain't getting that close to Embiid nowadays, man. That was before he was like. Now he's one of the top four figureheads in the city now.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah, you won't see him around.
Nah.
For sure.
Nah.
Speaking of figureheads in the city, I did want to shout out Jalen Hurts for donating the 200 air conditioning unit. Actually, nah. Was it it was 200, I think, air conditioning units to city schools in the city of Philadelphia. So kids don't gotta be let out of school early due to the heat. He comes through time and time again for the season, for the city, sorry, and he will come through in this season, I believe. So as y'all know, I'm gonna be rocking that Hurt season hat this season, and full confidence, man.
You gonna get a Mitchell jersey, bro?
I'm getting a Mitchell jersey, dog. I'm getting a Mitchell jersey. Getting a Mitchell jersey.
He could keep that jersey even if he leaves.
I'm getting me and my girl. I'm getting me and my girl a Mitchell jersey, dog. So,
should.
Gotta have my name on the back of that jersey. Let's go. Let's go. And man, like to be honest with you, I'm just grateful for the honestly, the defensive coordinator, man, I'm just grateful, man, because I'm just like Vic Fangio was the one that we really wanted. He was an advisor for us in the Super Bowl. I know we didn't pull it off. I still think the call is bogus, to be honest with you. It
was horrible.
But to get the godfather of what we've been doing this whole time, I don't think that there will be that many changes on this defense. I think there'll be changes. Obviously, 4-3 to 3-4 is a big change. I'm not negating that. But the objective of what we're trying to do as a defense, I think is going to be executed to perfection under Vic Fangio. I like that he's involved in the draft process and handpicking players. Let's see where it comes, because Jalix Hunt, I know he comes with a small school, but I something about the eye test, man. When you just, it's not everybody comes from Richard Sherman didn't come from a big school per se. I'm trying to think of where.
Stanford, no? Did he go to Stanford?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Stanford.
Sorry.
Yo, Rich, I'm still gonna be here. I'm just gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, you're chilling.
All that water, man.
No, you're chilling, man. But I'm trying to think of who else. I don't know if it was Rob Gronkowski that came from a small school. I'm trying to think. He came from Arizona.
That's a good school.
There were a couple of small school guys where you don't know where their school was, where they were shut downs. Like they was crazy. I'm trying to think of a few players right now.
One I could think of is Carson Wentz, but he was kind of garbage after a while.
That would do the injury and attitude. Attitude definitely played a part.
Attitude definitely had the skill, but yeah.
Do you think winning that Super Bowl under Nick Foles, do you think
that crushed his spirits, man? That crushed his spirits.
That trade's still paying off. You saw that on ESPN? They put that on the list. They put down the list.
I saw that. All the players we got from that trade.
We're talking about the Carson Wentz trade.
The Carson Wentz.
It's like a long lineage of players that we got. Devontae Smith being one of them. Like a long line of players that we got.
Thank you, Carson Wentz trade. Thank you, Carson.
Yeah, that is funny.
It was like, this is one of the best decisions that the Eagles organization has ever made. Like, I listened to ESPN, I'm like, bro. They're like, this is one of the best. I'm like, dang. They're like, when's career? I think he's playing in
Where's he at now? He was with the Rams, but he ain't still there, right? Is he still there? I don't know.
No, he left. He left the Rams. He
I'm gonna find out right now where he at. Where Carson Wentz playing. Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot, bro. He went to the Chiefs.
Yeah, he went to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
That's some
like
nut. You know he mad at the Eagles.
Well, he ain't gonna get no playing time, bro. Unless Mahomes goes
Nah.
down, bro. He ain't getting no playing time.
You know he did that out of desperation. You know the Rams didn't want him.
I think Rob's thing went off.
Oh, he lagged out, probably.
Yeah, he'll probably be right back on. We can wrap it up shortly anyway. I was gonna say, man, yeah, dude, that's desperation. You watch, bro. He gonna get a ring with the Chiefs.
You know he mad at the Eagles and he going with the Chiefs, man.
Man, dude, that's weird. What team? What like? That's like going to the Warriors back like 5 years ago. That's crazy. I don't know, man. I mean, I have no hate for Carson Wentz, man. I just like thought, like, it's a shame, man. The guy projects himself as a humble Christian guy, but then like apparently in the locker room, like he just really didn't portray that image. Like it was more so a very selfish image. I mean, it's good. It's easy to show a lot of humility when you're doing well and be like, hey, look, I'm a good guy and all. But when things get tough, that's when you're really put in the crossfires and when you're put in a challenging situation. That goes to show your true nature a lot of times. When you start to see it, when you're put into a tough situation. I'm not going to lie. The situation that he was put into was one of the most unique ones you'll ever see. His backup coming in and winning a Super Bowl, you never see that. So.
Yeah, no, for me, I just think that, they had these, I think the turning point for me with Carson Wentz's attitude was when we won the Super Bowl and Nick Foles was up there and Doug was up there and everybody and you see the cameras and lights and confetti going down, green confetti, and they had these clips and they showed Carson Wentz's face and he didn't really look too happy. He just it was kind of he was kind of thinking about himself at that point, and I think it's understandable because you're the leading. He did a lot of the work that season. Now, let's not take that away from Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz did a lot of work that season to get us. Without Carson Wentz, listen, I agree. Without Carson Wentz, there's no Eagles Super Bowl in 2017.
Yeah,
let me put that out there first and foremost.
I agree.
But it doesn't. In his brain, it doesn't matter if he doesn't recognize that. He never recognized that without him, we couldn't have won that Super Bowl. So when he sees Nick Foles lift up the trophy and Doug lift up, it's a little hint of jealousy there. And I think Doug may have caught some of the character concerns and issues that were going on in the locker room. Doug was the one who pushed for Jalen Hurts to
I'm not gonna lie. I would have let Wentz go up there, man. Like when they held the trophy and stuff, let Wentz go up there too. Like I mean, like and let them like hold. I understand you're not gonna take away Nick Foles' moment, but I would have let him go up there because man, he was on the verge. He was gonna be an MVP that year, bro. Like to be honest, if it wasn't for that injury at the end, like I'll be honest, like they should have like gave him a little bit more recognition and maybe different things. Like I think building a statue and stuff too, man. Like it probably took like a serious ego hit for the guy. Like you see like your backup getting a freaking statue, and like the only reason Foles got a statue is our first ever Super Bowl. We had never seen one before. It'd be a little bit different if that was like the second Super Bowl or something, but it was the first one ever.
The thing that worries me though is that we got rid of Doug the year after that though.
Yeah, that's why I'm really surprised that Sirianni's still here. I'm gonna be honest, because they obviously are not hesitant to pull the trigger on firing the coach. So it's.
What's your opinion on that? Sirianni still being here after last season's collapse.
I thought for sure he'd be gone, but I understand it. I guess, like I said, he's gonna be on the hot seat. I don't see this happening, but if the Eagles have a slow start, he's gonna be on the hot seat. Absolutely, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to start off bad this year. Green Bay's game might be a little tough, but besides that, I'm just trying to see the comments here. Yeah, we still have on Facebook where the comments really aren't coming through here, but I am monitoring on Facebook as well.
My thing is this, though. I think I can give them a pass, actually. If we lose the Brazil game, one of the toughest teams in the NFC.
That's going to be a tough one, yeah.
Green Bay Packers. I think it's a great practice. I think it's a great prerequisite for what could be the NFC Championship. Barring, we can get through San Francisco or whoever can get through San Francisco. Because I do think San Francisco is a contender for the NFC Championship, but I'm not afraid of them. Scheme wise, and we beat the brakes off of San Francisco when we had Shane Steichen. Yeah. When we had a good coordinator who knew how to use the players, we beat the brakes off of San. And I don't want to hear about the Brock Purdy getting hurt, because Brock Purdy, the only reason Brock Purdy got hurt is because they didn't know how to protect Brock Purdy because of our blitz schemes. Right. And I know that has nothing to do with Shane Steichen, but we had a different coordinator back then, to a different defensive coordinator. Remember, we lost both our coordinators.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big what's his name? He's head coach in Arizona right now.
Gannon.
I'm not the biggest Gannon fan, but I'm going to take Gannon over Desai every time. So my thing is, like, if you're going to let Gannon go, or Gannon got poached from us, or XYZ, whatever the case or whatever the story is, you better get equivalent or better if you want to make another run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Eagles learned that the hard way. But going into what I was saying, any viable coordinator with these players, I mean, you're handed just I don't even know what to call it, but you're
you're handed an explosive system like this. Like, I mean, the talent on this team is unbelievable. This is a top tier talented team. Like, us and San Francisco are up there. I'll be honest, Kansas City, they obviously have the best quarterback in the league, but they're not as talented on the roster. Like, you see our roster compared to their roster. Our roster is better. Like, it's just, obviously they got Mahomes. But I don't think Kansas City is going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think they're going to repeat. This is going to be a different year. They'll still be in the mix, but I think another team's going to take a step up. Dude, I'll be honest, I'm happy we're not in the AFC. The AFC is just fully loaded, dude. Look at the quarterback talent they got in the AFC. Burrow's going to be back this year. Josh Allen's still Josh Allen. You got Herbert over there. He's going to take a step probably with Jim Harbaugh this year. The defense.
But Burrow lost Mixon and Ross.
Yeah, they still got Jamar Chase, and they got other pieces too. Burrow's Burrow though. I think that kid's a winner. Like, I think he's kind of like Hurts, man. He's a winner. There's not many quarterbacks I'd even put above Hurts in the league. I'll be honest. I'd probably actually. Josh Allen is it's tough. Like, Josh Allen, I could see him either being right behind Hurts or right in front of him. Like, it's tough. So Hurts could either be 3 or 4. I'll be honest. I'd probably put a fully healthy Burrow in front of him at 2, and obviously Patrick Mahomes at 1. But I'll be honest, like, Burrow's that dude. Like, I do think he's the only one that's ever been able to get to the AFC Championship and beat Mahomes to get to the AFC Championship. So,
correct me if I'm wrong from what you said. Mahomes 1, Burrow 2. We'll say Hurts 3.
Yeah.
We'll say Allen 4.
Yep.
And then we'll say Prescott 5. Or
I actually put Herbert above Prescott. Like, Herbert just has a terrible defense on the Chargers. But I'll be honest, say you put like Herbert on Dallas's team. I'll be honest, Herbert would probably ball out.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I'd be scared.
I put Herbert at 5.
I would not want Dallas to get Herbert.
No. Yeah, Herbert's the truth. I think the Jets are going to take a step up too with Aaron Rodgers. I still would put Aaron Rodgers top 5. Aaron Rodgers is older now. He's going to be 40.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's top 5.
No, he's not top 5. He's not. No, he's not. He's not. He back in his prime, absolutely, but no, not now. He's going to be 40.
I'd give him top 10, but not top 5.
Yeah, top 10.
He'd probably just get at number 10.
I hate to say it, as well as like because he's in a great system, Purdy, I'd probably put top 10 as well. Because of the system.
To be honest with you,
yeah, Lamar.
I was about to say Lamar might have to go.
He got a lot to prove though because of the playoffs. They choked in the playoffs.
Lamar is 5. Then I put Lamar at 5
over Herbert. I put Herbert over Lamar, but I mean Lamar is the more dynamic. But I would put Herbert. It's like yeah.
I think it's tomato because they both choke in the playoffs. I'll be honest with you.
They do.
So either way,
but Lamar, I will say this, has a much better team. Like, especially with the defense to help them out. Like, the defense held KC to 20 points and they still freaking they like if your defense holds a team to 20 points, you should win the game.
Right.
Like, and they didn't get that last touchdown till late, so like it was like 13 points, and then they got that last touch. Like, I'll be honest, Lamar just couldn't put up more than 10. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, he's dynamic, and during the season he was the MVP. But he's on a fantastic team too. Like, the Ravens are their defense is one of the top defenses in the league. So,
when one thing about, and I'll tell you this. This is why, because I know there might be some Lamar people that are going to comment on this later or now. The reason why I put Jalen Hurts over Lamar Jackson, one, Jalen Hurts has made it to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson still has yet to make it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, with a loaded team, he hasn't made it there. So it's like, exactly.
Both with loaded teams.
Yeah, whereas Hurts can get it done. I think Hurts has more of a killer instinct than Lamar Jackson. He's got that instinct.
I agree. And
Lamar doesn't.
When it comes to big moments, Lamar does not show up. Like, let me give you an example. So even the playoff, like the year that he won MVP, right?
Right.
Like the year he won MVP, how far did they go in his playoffs? Not far.
I think they lost in the first round. Or maybe
that's
the second
what I'm
round.
saying, man. The second round, they didn't get any farther than the Dallas Cowboys got. So how are we going to hold you in high regard over a quarterback that got to the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? And that goes for Burrow too. Like, it's the same reason why he's behind Burrow as well. But this is the thing. Lamar Jackson is a great regular season quarterback because the dual threat capabilities on guys who are not fully seasoned, who are not at the level of a playoff team. When you get to the playoffs, you're facing teams that are on a different level, who is not going to be confused or shook by the same things that some of these regular season teams are. And what happens is you get to the playoffs and you run into a defense that is prepared to face the dual threat, right? And Jalen Hurts encountered the same thing. Now, there was a certain crossroads here that both Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson have encountered where the dual threat aspect got shut down and you couldn't scramble anymore. The linebackers are too fast in the playoffs. We're talking about our San Franciscos. We're talking about our Buffalo Bills linebackers that go from sideline to sideline. These guys that you encounter in playoffs, you can't do the same things that you can do in the regular seasons on your feet as a quarterback. Guess what you got to do? You got to use your arm.
You do.
And this is where the Patrick Mahomes come in. This is where the Joe Burrows come in. This is where the Justin Herberts. Unfortunately, Justin Herbert hasn't really shown much in the in the post. And of course, that's where we're talking about defensive issues and stuff.
Yeah,
but Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts on his Super Bowl run, or his attempt at a Super Bowl run, where he made it to the Super Bowl. He tore San Francisco's defense up, and that had nothing to do with Purdy. Yeah. The defense was okay.
I'll say this too. Hurts had a really good Super Bowl too, but minus that fumble, he had a really good Super Bowl. We hung 35 on Kansas City. Like, he showed up in a big moment, to be honest.
How many teams are hanging 35 on Kansas City Chiefs?
Right. I can't believe what Pro Football Focus, how they have it like this year. I just looked at like the top 10. They have Hurts at 11 coming into this year. They have Aaron Rodgers at 10, Purdy at 9, CJ Stroud at 8. They have like, they got Lamar. They got Lamar Jackson at 2. How could you put Lamar Jackson over Joe Burrow? That is just insane to me. That's not. I can't take you serious if you're gonna put Lamar Jackson over Joe Burrow.
They're doing that because Burrow got hurt, so they can't. They don't have the statistics that they would.
They're just going off of last year. Yeah, they're just going off of last year, the MVP and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Like, and of course Mahomes is one. But I'm like, you're just going off of last year. I don't think Lamar is even going to have that type of MVP season this year. I mean,
all that stuff is made to be broken and changed, man. All that's going to get changed.
Yeah, Herbert they have as 4. They have Prescott at 6. They have Prescott as a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. That's wild, dude.
Again, they're stat suckers, PFF. So they're suckers for the regular season stats. So that's why they're gonna put him. But man, we know the big picture. We know how these guys do in the playoff tournament, right? In the playoff tournament. This is what Howie talked about on gosh dang it. What's this? I'm drawing a blank here.
What do you do?
Used to kick for the Colts. His podcast.
He was the kicker for the Colts.
Yeah, big podcast. ESPN hired him.
I
forgot his name.
Is it
Punter?
Is it Macca? It's not McAfee, is it?
Yeah, McAfee. The McAfee show.
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee show.
Gotcha.
Pat hosted Howie. Sorry, Pat. If you somehow get a hold of this, I apologize, but
Pat McAfee.
You know.
Somebody said, this is a side note. Apparently, Shaq said Sixers going to win a blowout tonight. He said Sixers by 19.
He said Sixers by. Shaq is a Philly hater, so he's going to try to jinx us. By the way, I just want to tell her Shaq is a Cowboys fan, just in case anyone didn't know. So anything Philly he hates. I wouldn't be surprised if this was reverse psychology by Shaq.
Yeah, come on, Shaquille. We need Sir Charles Barkley to cancel him out.
I know. And Steve, wait, I have a question here.
Sure.
Do you think when you heard that statement that you heard from Shaq, was there any sarcasm in that? I'm just curious.
Oh, I haven't heard it. Somebody posted it.
Was he just trying to gas us up so we be pulled down like what happens with the Cowboys every year?
I'm just seeing it posted over here, so I don't know what his mood was like when he said it. It's gonna be interesting though. I'm excited. I do think they're putting the game on kind of late. I can't believe it's like a 9:00 start, but I'll pop off here or hop in a shower and then get ready to watch, I guess. Get ready to get hurt. It's like that what's that Office meme with Michael Scott when it's like I'm ready to be hurt again. Like they do this to us all the time, man. That's why I said the Sixers. They gotta show me something, man.
If they won the last game, they have to win this game. At least bring it back to Philly.
I know, man, because that's the thing, man. You won that game. And then you're going to come here and lose in front of the fans. Yeah, you got to win. You got to win. Joel Embiid got to, even with all the stuff that's going on, he's got to have the performance of his life tonight. You just got to give your all. Give your all. Play your hardest. And if it goes to 7, anything can happen. You're on the road. Anything can happen in a game 7, man.
We got to do this like we did Miracle at the Meadowlands, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know,
it's going to be interesting.
Miracle in the trying to think of where New York plays.
Miracle in the Garden.
Miracle in the Garden. You know what I'm saying? We gotta believe, you know. And
Madison Square Garden, man. They say there's like no place like it.
Miracle in Madison. Miracle in Madison.
They call it the Garden, though, man. I think the Garden would be perfect.
Miracle sounds like a porno cover.
Yeah. Miracle
Miracle
at the Garden. I think that's perfect because they call Madison Square Garden the Garden. They'll be like, yo, we're going to play at the Garden. Like, Miracle at the Garden.
But we have to have a miracle in Madison Square Garden. And this is why. If I feel like, I believe, this is my crazy estimation. I know we don't usually win game sevens, but I'll give the prediction for the podcast. If Sixers win this game tonight, I say Sixers in 7.
I actually agree with that, and I don't even feel I'm jumping ahead. All the pressure will be on the Knicks. I will say it is going to matter who the officiating crew is, because if they put like Tony Brothers or somebody there that hates the Sixers, tonight apparently Scott Foster's reffing. A lot of people are like, oh, Scott Foster hates the Sixers. Apparently he is 73%. The teams that are home when Scott Foster refs are 73% of them win. So that actually favors us tonight. Because Scott Foster's calling for us. So it's like essentially it's a 3 out of 4 chance of winning. It's 75% essentially chance of winning.
So you're saying 75% chance that the away team
that the home team will win when Scott Foster refs. So Scott Foster's calling again tonight. We're home. So
okay. Oh, tonight we're home.
We're home. Yeah, this is so tonight.
If we win tonight, do we go back to Madison Square Garden?
Game 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Sorry, I thought we were.
So we're home tonight. If we can win tonight in front of the fans, it goes to Game 7, and then it's a showdown in the Garden.
Oh yeah,
I
New
said,
York. Yeah, they're gonna have all the pressure then in Game 7.
I said Sixers in 7 in this series. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to go like this. Technically, we should have won Game 2. I'm not trying to make excuses, though. It is what it is. But I'm not going to lie. Either way, I said Sixers in 7, but I also said I could see them losing to the Knicks in 7. I thought this was going to be a 7-game series. I'll be honest. Right from the get-go, because it's two physical teams. And they actually did analysis of the points total through 5 games. The Sixers have outscored the – you want to hear this? Get ready for this. The total points scored between both teams. The Sixers have outscored the Knicks by how many points you think? Just take a random guess. Through all 5 games. Like, they're totaling up the points through 1 through 5.
Probably 30. 2.
That is how close this series has been. They have outscored the Knicks by 2 points. Like throughout this, like I think I forget how many points it is. It's like 500 and something points in total between both teams, and it's like the Sixers have outscored the Knicks by 2. That is how close this entire series has been. Every game.
You know, I said 30 though, right?
Yeah.
Because all these 10-point leads, we had 10-point leads, 10-point leads, 10-point leads, and then we lose them. And then we go hop back forward 10 points, and then the game ends very close. But we always have this lead that we lose.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If we win tonight, we're playing with house money in Game 7, because at that point, that's backs to the wall for New York. At that point, you're in front of your home crowd who are freaking hostile. They're nuts. They're the craziest. They're the craziest fan base in basketball. They are the top tier, the cream of the crop. They're worse than Boston. Like, you have to play in front of those fans. And guess what? If you lose that Game 7 in front of those fans, it's going to be ugly. So, like, it all starts with tonight. All that crap does not matter if we lose tonight. It doesn't matter. It's over. But if they win tonight, Game 7 is going to be interesting. Game 7 will be very interesting.
Right.
I think at that point you may have taken their soul. Like, their backs are going to be to the wall.
Yeah, man. I agree. The backs are going to be to the wall. I feel like the pressure is going to be on New York, and I feel like New York, when all the pressure's on them, they don't perform well.
They're like us, bro. They haven't won anything in the NBA. The Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973. It's been 51 years. We at least won in the 80s. Yeah. They haven't won since 1973. New York is a classic choke city. See, Boston isn't like that. Boston doesn't really choke like that. Like, Boston has so much hardware over the years for all their sports.
Yeah, they won the early 2000s, right? Was their last one? Or
2008. But then they have the Patriots got 6 titles. Red Sox got 3 or 4 since the 2000s. And then the Boston Bruins got a title too, I think, in 2011.
Boston has a lot of love. I hate Boston, man. I hate Boston. But the one thing you can't say Boston's not a good sports city. I hate Boston, but they're a good sports city.
Yeah, they love their sports. I'll be honest. I think there's a little bit of racism up in Boston, but I'll be honest. Like, other than that, they support their sports teams though. They're like, that's crazy, man. Us. I would say for like us, New York and Boston are some top tier, like, and Chicago too is another one. They're big sports cities. Like, we love our sports, so
we don't get as much respect as the rest.
Dude, New York is worse. Like, it's crazy. Like, you see some of the stuff that, like, those New York fans get away with. If some of that crap happened in Philly, it'd be horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, Dallas, after they had lost in the playoffs in the year the Eagles Super Bowl run, their fan base was fighting each other. Like, their fan base was, I'm telling you, man. I mean, it was like 5 or 6 fights all at the same time.
And don't forget the Knicks fan that spit on Trae Young in 2021 when Trae Young, like, and the Hawks were about to beat the Knicks. There were Knicks fans, and all you saw was, like, somebody went like this, and all you saw was a loogie on the, like, with the side out of bounds, and Trae Young was about to pass the ball, and like, spit hit him. I'm like, if that happened in Philly, that was during COVID too, man. The pandemic was still going on. Somebody, like, spit on Trae Young. I'm like, bro, what?
Oh, dang, that was during a pandemic. Yeah, I'm going to quarantine if I'm Trae Young, and I'm suing because I had to go in. Yeah, New York people got the money.
Yeah, hell yeah, they do. That's why they were coming down here to buy out the tickets that the Sixers fans couldn't afford. Man,
yeah, they can afford to live near the Rats. That's good for them.
Exactly. Then we'll pop off here, man, and we can when it gets closer to the season, because the opponents are lined up for the Eagles. But we don't know the schedule except for game 1. I just looked; they don't have the schedule out yet. When the schedule comes out, we'll have to break down the schedule, and we'll all hop on here and we'll get like a whole panel and stuff, and we'll break down what our thoughts are on the record and stuff for this year when the schedule comes out for the Birds. Because as of now, they have the opponents, but they don't have the actual schedule. They don't have like the order of the games. The only one we know is we're opening up the season in Brazil against Green Bay. So We'll see how it actually pans out, but. So all I gotta say is, man, go Birds! I'm excited for this year. Go Sixers! Hopefully, they can weather the storm. Like we said, we both agree here. I think if they win this one tonight, pressure's on New York. I think if we win this one tonight, they I think are going to change the tide. They're going to win in Game 7. So this is a big game.
Big game.
Headed into the weekend. Let's extend the season. So we can see some more basketball headed into the weekend.
We need to make it into summer camp basketball. At least take us Sixers to the Philadelphia Eagles training camp.
Yep.
One
game at a time. We'll see what happens, man.
One game at a time. It is May, June, July, August. Now I know we can't get all the way there, but
yeah, basketball
we could try. We could try. It's like not. Yeah, I know basketball is only to June, but if you could take us to June, Sixers, like you've never really done before. But if you could take us to June, we really appreciate it. And B, come on, man, you took a break. You kind of had a break. I know it was an injury, but you can show up tonight at your hometown, not hometown, but home arena.
Yeah.
8:19 p.m. Sixers game at, you said 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Yeah, so game's going to be
Standard Time.
Yeah, game's going to be about 40 minutes. So tip-off will be about 40 and probably go to about 11:30, 12 tonight. So it's going to be interesting, man. Just leave it all out on the floor, man. That's how LeBron used to say. He's like, and at the end of the day, he's like, I'm going to leave everything on the floor. And at the end of the day, I'll be content with the result. That's all you can do. Leave it all on the floor, man.
Light on. Hold on. I'm just going to flick this light on 2 seconds.
No problem.
It's getting dark over here in Philly. It is, like I said, 8:20 p.m. now.
It is getting dark. When I first started the stream, you could see sun kind of glaring into my room. Now you can't.
Yeah.
It got dark, man. But man, we'll wrap it up here, man. I'm sure I'll be texting you, man, like in the group chat throughout the game, dude. We'll be talking, man. Hopefully the sick. I don't have expectations because if they do, but I'll be honest, I'm gonna be hype if they win, man. I'm gonna be hype because it's like I said, I think that you're playing with house money in Game 7 if you win this one. It's in their building. They have everything to lose. So
I completely agree.
We'll see.
It's going to be a fiery game, physical game. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Likewise.
Good luck, man. Have a nice shower. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Sixers. All
right, man. Man. We'll definitely be talking to everyone else out there, man. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week for episode 172. Got a good guest in the lineup. Peace. Go Sixers. Go Eagles. Let's go.